What's up, everybody? It's your boy Devon Taylor here, aka Deezus, and this is my podcast, Deezus Take the Reel. No, this is not a religious podcast. It's a podcast where we're talking movies, we're talking life, we're talking all sorts of crazy shit. The show's uncensored. I feel like there's going to be a lot more cuss words in this episode. I don't know. I am very excited for my guest today. She is one of the hosts of a podcast I've been listening to lately. It is Between Us Girls, and one of the hosts, her name is Danielle Jones. How you doing, Danielle?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am doing so good. Yeah, so I'm real excited. I have an ever-growing list of things I need to watch or things I need to listen to, and there's just not enough time in the day to get to them all. Because I saw a post that you posted in one of the Facebook groups. I don't know. It was a few weeks ago. I added you to the list. I was like, I'm going to get to this one. And now I did. I really enjoyed it. Your podcast is really funny. So take us through. So the intro segment of my show is, who the hell are you? The people may not know who you are. And, you know, we're fairly casual at the moment, just kind of met who you are. So tell the people who you are, tell us about the podcast.
Well, I'm Danielle, and our podcast is Between Us Girls, like you said. And our show is just like complete ridiculousness. Like, it's four girls, we get a bottle of wine, and we kind of just go. Like, it's raw and uncensored. And we just talk about a lot of just what we say life fuckeries, just all the time. It's just like all the bullshit that you ever think about, we talk about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's why I love it. This show is uncensored as well, because really I just cuss a lot. But yeah, and you guys remind me of me and my roommate. Just, you know, like you said, the fuckeries. The me and my roommate, we have a thing we call Chuckle Fuck Friday. And Chuckle Fuck Friday is when people forget how to drive on Fridays for some reason. I don't know what it is about the vibes on Fridays. I don't know. So I think you guys are talking about the fuckeries of life. That I think that's a fuckery, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Our show is like completely, it's unfiltered. It gives you a real life glimpse into what women really talk about. Like, I know a lot of guys think that women talk about like babies and periods and stuff like that, and it's like, ew, I don't want to be in that conversation. It's like, no, we talk about a lot of shit.
Yeah, and that's why I love me. So my day job, I am a server / bartender. I have been for the past 6 years. So, you know, I'm a professional people watcher, and one thing I love is I love serving a table of girls. And, you know, guys, this is insight into the life of a server. Like, I love eavesdropping on girl talk, because girl talk's just the fucking best. Like, girls have way better conversations than guys do. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, all my guy friends are stoners, and we have, you know, just stupid conversations, which is fine. But girl talk is so fucking funny. Especially like when you can really, you know, like your podcast does, you really get a listen into what it's really like. And that's why I really love. So how long have you and your co-hosts all known each other?
Oh, let's see. One of them, Sharonda, I've been friends with her for maybe like 10 years. And Michelle and I, we met in college. So I don't even want to say how long that's been. And Jen, I've known her for like maybe 5 years. So we all known each other for quite a bit of time. And really what you see is what you get on the show, because, I mean, we fight a lot. You don't see a lot of the fights that we have, but yeah, we fight a lot.
Yeah, I can sense it. Like I can sense the friendship where, you know, you guys are on that level to where it's like, you know, where you're comfortable with your friends, to where it's like, okay, maybe we're not always getting along, but this is, you know, kind of how it is. And it's really funny though. Like, you guys' banter is really funny, and that's one thing that I really love about the podcast. And, you know, you guys have been getting some really good reviews and stuff, and mainly because your guys' chemistry is fantastic. Especially, you know, there's so many podcasts out there where you have, you know, it's me and three of my friends, me and two of my friends doing blah, 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 you know. But you guys really excel at it just because of your chemistry alone, I think.
I fucking hate them.
Don't we all? Like, we really fucking hate our friends. Like me, I was at the bar the other day, and where my roommate works, and this is where I used to work because we used to work together as well. And people love our fucking bromance. And somebody said something, and we were just having a back and forth, whatever. And somebody goes, "Oh, you guys are cute," and I go, "I fucking hate that motherfucker." And he just started cracking up. He's like, "Yeah," he's like, "That sounds about right." So like, if you have that kind of friendship, like that's the good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But so one of the episodes I was listening to today, oh my goodness, I was cracking up because I always listen to podcasts whenever I'm doing side work at work, so like whenever I'm cleaning shit. And I was listening to your guys' podcast, and it was the Love and Expectations one. And I really like it because, one, it was super fucking funny. Like, it was a really funny episode, but it's something I can also relate to with movies-wise as far as expectations go. And that'll kind of be how we tie in the movie aspect of today. So in this episode, it was super funny, and they were giving you especially a hard time about your standards for guys, you know. So that episode, so take us through that episode, like, because it was really funny, and how'd that episode like come about?
Well, half of the episodes is just shit that I make up to start off with, but with that one in particular, I had just been seeing a lot of stuff on Facebook from different girls saying stuff like, you know, he needs to do X, Y, and Z if he wants to be with me or whatever. And I was just like, why do you have all these stipulations? Like, you can't just go hang out with a guy, and it's like, no, I can't hang out with him. Like, I'm expecting to be in a relationship. Why are we dating? Like, I want to be married. And I'm just like, whoa. Like, calm down. Like, for real, like, you can't even just go enjoy somebody's company. Like, what the hell is this? And it's like, you meet a guy. Like, I was seeing women talk about how they meet a guy, and it's like almost a countdown in their heads to some point where it's like, well, by date 1, we need to be doing this. Date 2, we need to be doing this. Date 3, he needs to be, basically telling me where we're going now in this situation. I'm just like, what if you have a date you have 3 dates in 1 week?
That's like, a lot of stipulations. Like,
yeah, it's like you expect way too much, like, from the very beginning, and that's a lot of pressure to put on anybody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the episode came about. It's like, what do you really want, and are you expecting things that you're not able to give? Because I mean, a lot of people do that. Like, they expect the guy to have all this money, meanwhile they live in paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. Because you want him to save you, So mm-hmm. That's kind of how the episode came about. And they always rag on me for what I want. They say I'm too picky. Me and Andrea in the episode, our friend that came by. Yeah. It's like, y'all have all these just lists. And it's like, I'm not asking for anything that I don't already have. Like, y'all want to jump on me, but I know what I want. Like, and so I can be decisive in that, to where I meet a guy up front and I can tell whether or not he's going to be right for me, if we're going to be compatible or not. And I think that with a lot of people, they don't necessarily know what they want, and they try to make somebody to fit into this little role that they want, when they know that that's not what he is.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that's about.
Yeah, and see, and where I can relate to this is, you say you kind of got to balance it. You got to balance the expectations, but you having high standards, or I have this argument with people all the time, like, or I'm doing my air quotes right now, being shallow. I don't think that's a thing. I think it's okay to be picky because you know what you want, and and why settle for only having some of what you want, or somebody that you're like, okay, they have this, but there's this. Like, if you're not picky on like what you want, then like because me, I feel like I'm wasting my time if I'm not. People tell me that because at work I work with a bunch of girls. but I also work with a bunch of, lesbian, bisexual girls as well, which is super fun. And well, because I can talk girls with them, and it's like, it's cool. And
tips.
some of my friends think that I'm very picky. I don't have a very specific taste. I have like a lot of random tastes, but everybody says I'm picky, and I'm like, it's not that I'm picky. It's just like I know what I want, and like I know what my track record is, my history, and I don't know. And I think there's nothing wrong with having high standards. If you know what you want, you know what you want. And they were on you on that episode though. Like, oh my goodness.
I was like, we are not about to have an intervention on today.
Yeah, I was like, you were like, wait, what? Is this an intervention? I did not get to smoke before this. And I was dying. Like, oh my goodness. It was so funny. Because, I mean, they jumped on you. They were like hyenas on your ass.
I know, right? That's really how it is, though. Like, when we're not recording, it's the same damn way. Like, shit, leave me alone. God damn. I mean, to the point of being shallow, though, I mean, you're attracted to what you're attracted to. I think that knowing what kind of character traits that you want is way more important. I mean, once you get to know somebody, or once you meet somebody and they fit like your ideal of, what you want them to kind of look like, you're actually attracted to them, then you get to know them, and that's what's really going to keep you. And if they don't have the character traits that you want, which is really, in my case, the main thing, what my list sort of, or standards, expectations sort of consist of, is the character traits. So if I notice that, one thing that I always say that like completely pisses me off is a guy that struggles to plan a date. If you cannot plan a date, I don't even want to talk to you no more, because to me, you're just basic as fuck. Like,
it ain't all about dinner and movies anymore. This ain't the 1950s.
Like, do you know what you like to do? Why don't you just say, hey, I like to go do this. You want to come along with me? Like, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
It's just like showing people like your shit, like, because that's how you show someone how you get to know them. But what you were saying as well, the bounce in the character traits, but with the attractiveness, because like, I mean, let's be real. What's the difference between friends and a more than friends? It's that attraction. It's that intimacy. So that's got to be there. The attraction's got to be there. Sex got to be bomb, and and then the characteristics will kind of fall into place after that if it's working. Who knows? Yeah. But so that's gonna lead into the game for this episode. I call this game Deal Breakers, as pretty much every Jesus Take the Real episode is. The game is brand new. We've never played this before. I don't know how it's going to go, but let's do this. So Deal Breakers is it's a list of scenarios. So you're going to describe your type, your ideal guy, and I'm going to throw some scenarios at you. And you're going to say, yes, is that a deal breaker? Or no, I can still work with that, because keep in mind, this is your ideal guy. Okay? So I'll start off easy, but the scenarios will gradually get harder. And then we'll see what your deal breakers are. Make sense?
Yeah.
Because apparently you have a very specific list from what your guys' podcast says. You have a very specific list, so we're gonna find this out. You ready? Okay. First one. He doesn't offer to pay. Say you go out to eat. He does not offer to pay for the meal on your first date. This is your first date.
That's a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to deal with that.
Like, but you personally, here's the follow up to that question though. Do you, as a girl, do you do the fake out where you're like, oh, two, and then hope that he says no one check? Or do you just kind of wait and make sure you just wait for him to go, no, one check?
I wait for him to go one check. And if he's not going to pay, I'll get up and leave.
So either way, you're not paying for this meal.
I'm not paying for it.
Respect. I will take that. All right. I personally prefer the fake out. I'm always gonna pay because I'm a gentleman, but I'll appreciate the fake out. That's all I'll say from a guy's perspective.
on the first date though, no. Like
I don't even care if I know it's a fake out. Like it can be the worst fake out possible. I just, it's the thought that counts.
I'm not even gonna pretend on the first date.
All right. So you and this guy. Oh wait, we jumped right into scenarios. Please, you gotta describe it. So what's your type? Just a quick your physical type, your character type.
Okay, so physically, I like tall, like bald head, like football player, stocky build. Like I like that solidness.
6'2" and above only, correct?
Well, I say that you asked me like ideally, but I mean I date like guys that are like 5'9" and up, like 5'10".
Okay.
So character wise, like I need you to be like dependable. I need to be able to trust you. I need for you to be funny. I need for your penis to be like nice.
Like, okay, okay. We're getting into nitty gritty on this episode, guys. So what is nice? Okay. Because I think penises are gross. I think but I've heard girls say, oh, he has a nice penis. He has a nice dick. What the fuck does that mean?
It means that it's girthy, it's thick, and it's long. So it's like it's filling. I feel like I'm going way too deep into this. But
no, there is no subject that is off limits on this show. And you brought it up. You're the one that went into penis. So I
go. So I mean, I don't have a ruler. But
that's okay. I think we got it. I think when you said filling, I think we got it. Okay. So, we're going to jump back into scenarios. Okay.
Okay.
The next scenario. So, this is your ideal man. Keep this in mind. Mm-hmm. Y'all have been dating for let's say 3 weeks and you haven't met any of his friends. Is that too long? Like,
no,
but if you're not like from the same friend circle, like, like before bringing you into the circle, 3 weeks and you haven't met any of his friends, maybe his best friend, but that's about it.
3 weeks? No, like I really don't care. I don't bring people around. So I may be the wrong person to ask that question to. So like a lot of my friends, like they will know of a guy, but they haven't met him until I've been like, you know what, I think I really like him. So I don't bring people around. So it's not deal. 3 weeks, that's like way too soon. I don't even know if I like you in 3 weeks.
So not only do you not care about his friends, you don't even know if you care about him at this point.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Okay, this is a random one, but my friends are about 50-50 on this one.
Okay.
If he is too close with his mother, take that as you will. By your facial expression. And when I say too close, I'm not talking like weird or anything. I'm just talking like, he's real close with his mom. You know those guys.
So they don't like take baths together or anything, right?
No. We're not talking weird shit. We're not talking Bates Motel here. We're just like those guys that are really close with their moms.
I think I can deal with it. I think.
Like, I understand there's a mother-son relationship, but, like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, sometimes it's just, like, too close.
The typical mama's boy. Like, that's...
Is that just not your type, more or less?
No, it's not my type, but, I mean, I wouldn't... It wouldn't be a deal breaker.
Wouldn't be a deal breaker. Okay. So we're getting into the dirty. We're getting to the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
In bed, how important is endurance for you? This guy has real low endurance. Can you deal with that?
I got a good 15 minutes in me. Like if you ain't did something in 15 minutes, like
no, I'm saying like I don't know if he did it, but what if like it did it for him in under 15 minutes?
I will say this, like if the sex is bad, if it's not to my liking, I can't even deal with you. That's a complete deal breaker for me. I'm not even supposed to waste my time with that. No.
Fair enough. Because life is too short for shitty sex. That's a quote by somebody. I don't remember who. But shout out to whoever the fuck said that. All right. So the next one. Okay, here's it's kind of a two-parter. What's your favorite show? What's your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show is Game of Thrones.
He fucking hates Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
He fucking hates that show. He makes fun of it. Like, he hates it. He doesn't support you watching it. Are you going to be able to deal with that? Or are you just going to, like, turn your phone off on Game of Thrones night and say whatever?
I would have to slit his throat. Like, you're going to watch this shit with me and you're going to like it.
You want him to join in? Like, what if you're all caught up and he's never watched an episode? You want him to catch up and he has to watch it with you?
Okay, so this is my thing on TV. Like, if I have to watch sports with you, you're going to watch whatever bullshit that I want to watch. But if I don't have to watch sports, then we're cool. Like,
I always
don't try to make me watch shit.
Okay, yeah, that's even. Or I always go the compromise route. You just start something new together. Boom. And then you just can't, break the rules of watching an episode without them. Then that's when it's a deal breaker. If you started that together, you know what I mean?
That's so gay, but okay.
I'll take it. Maybe I'm more passionate about my TV shows. Okay, I'm just trying to find the middle ground here. That's just my opinion, but I'll take it. So, all right, must watch Game of Thrones. Got it. All right, we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna get into the movie portion. Danielle, do you have any pets?
Any what?
Do you have any pets?
I have 2 dogs.
You have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
He does not like dogs. He's a cat person. How do you feel about cats? Two-parter,
oh my God.
deal breaker or no?
I despise cats, and I will chunk a cat.
You wouldn't move in together with him and his cat? He has one cat, you keep your 2 dogs.
No, his cat has to go.
What?
Like, why do you have a cat? Why
I have a cat, okay?
With a cat? Oh my God.
Yo.
So good.
My cat is popular as fuck, okay? People fucking love my cat. Okay. He's the most popular member of this household by far. He's like a dog. I'll say that because I do like dogs.
I hate cats. Cats are like so annoying.
Oh no, my cat's the shit. I assure you.
But they're really fun to throw up in the air and watch them spin and flip back down. My
cat has been known to change people's mind. He has made people into believers. I really? Kid you not. There's been people that hate cats and they come over and it's instant connection. My cat's the shit.
Okay, I'll take your word on it.
Ask around. I don't know. Just start asking some people. You'll hear some shit. Cat? My cat's name is Lenny. His full name. Oh, you're gonna love this. His full name is Lenny Nigga Kitty Taylor Coleman is his full name. My cat's the shit.
It's so ridiculous.
Maybe it is. I talk to my cat a lot. Maybe that's when things start getting ridiculous. But we're not getting there. This show isn't. I mean, this is my show, but it's not about me. This is about you today. So we're not judging me today. But
Does your cat have a Twitter?
Does my cat have a Twitter? No, he has an Instagram. He does have an Instagram. We haven't been. Lenny has not been very active on his Instagram of lately. Lenny's been slacking on his Instagram game, but no, does not have a Twitter, but does have an Instagram. And he's also been in like a few skits that I've done on my YouTube channel. So like, he could have some IMDb credits, like for real though.
I feel like with that name, like he would be a troll on Twitter.
Probably. My cat is really fat, and probably that's all he does is scroll on Twitter when we're not home. All right, but that'll go ahead and do it for our game, guys. That was Deal Breakers. Before we get into the bulk of the show, just a few reminders. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/JesusTakeTheReal. $1 a month can make a big difference. Become a patron. The $5 and the $10 reward give you some perks as well. So check that out. Go on Patreon and support my YouTube channel and Jesus Take the Real. Bigger and better episodes, more places, Because I mean, so Danielle, you guys are fairly new to the podcast game. You guys have done I think like 6 or 7 more episodes than me. So like we're both still in that kind of rookie phase, I'd say. And so did you not know about all this shit? Like how like you have to like pay money for some shit, you know? Like
Oh God, all of this stuff was just like, what?
Like
what is all like?
I kind of knew because I started doing YouTube before I started doing podcasting. So I kind of knew what this world was like, but I also did not know about like the money part. I was just like, oh damn. I was like, podcasting, you have to pay for this shit? Whatever. But no,
Right?
it's a great time though, because on the other hand, in contrast to YouTube, I love the podcast community, like the YouTube groups and stuff, and like, you know, how I've been doing these crossover episodes. By the time this airs, because this isn't going to air for a couple weeks, but yeah, we're recording this now. But by the time this airs, I'll have done like 3 or 4 different crossover episodes, and it's like people are so much more fun to collaborate with on podcasts and stuff than YouTube. It's a good time. So
Yeah, it's fun. I like.
yeah, I totally want to come on your guys' show at some point. Because, like I said, I love being included in girl talk. So we're gonna have to make that happen.
I think that'll be fun.
All right. So, okay. So we're going to transition into the movie portion of this. And the movie portion is related to kind of what we've been talking about. But at the same time, it's a complete 180. It's a movie I did not expect you to pick. And I was caught off guard. And I was like, oh, shit, I haven't seen this movie. And I've been working and recording a bunch like the past 3 days, so that's why I didn't watch until like literally right before we started recording this. But Danielle picked Interstellar. So what made you pick this film to start off with?
Well, one of my friends had me to watch it like a few months ago. She was like, "You have to watch this movie. Like, it's so good." Like, she was like, "But it's about space," and I was like, "What? You know, I don't watch space movies. Like, I don't." I don't even watch Aliens. I mean, I can't watch that stuff. Like, I don't do space movies and I don't do war movies. So, but she was like so adamant about it. She's like, it's so good, like the visuals and everything, you know. And I was like, okay, whatever, fine, I'll give it a try. And when I watched it, like my son had to work that day, and he was texting me. He's like, "Mom, come pick me up." And I was like, "I'm watching this movie. Wait a minute." Like, I was like, I didn't want to go pick him up and pause the movie. I was like, you don't need to go get picked up right now, do you? He's like, "Mom, I need to come home."
Well, yeah, because that movie's a commitment. It's 2 hours and 49 minutes. So yeah, you start that movie. Yeah, people are gonna have to wait if they need shit from you. Like, you're gonna have to hold on a sec. I'm in the middle of something right now. But yeah, right. So what was your viewing experience of this like? Like, what really stood out to you?
I would say like the father-daughter love story portion of it. Like, I really like that dynamic, even though it kind of seemed like he forgot about his son in a sense. But because it was like really kind of centered around, you know, his daughter and him helping to save, you know, Earth's existence. I like that part of it, and I like the visuals of it alone. Like, what was the part where he was like in the bookcase in space thing?
Yeah, the fifth dimension was what it was. Yeah. It was what they created. Yeah, this movie is so kind of like you. One, I feel you on the war movies. I don't really like war films all that much. And as far as sci-fi goes, I like weird sci-fi. I like horror sci-fi as well because I'm a horror fan. But as far as like really scientific shit, I'm not really about it. So that's like, you know, we were talking. I avoided this movie. I was just kind of like, if I get to it, I'll get to it. But I was never like in a rush to get to it or anything. So I'm watching this, and so my initial thoughts are, I enjoyed, like you said, the father-daughter relationship aspect, the whole family dynamic. I enjoyed really the drama aspect of this film, but yeah, it was very movie spent a lot of time on the science part. So the drama was kind of a little spotty for me, but that was my favorite part, and I wanted more of that. And I was like, I wanted it to be more of a drama, a little less science maybe. maybe you could even cut out the Matt Damon stuff. Like,
yeah, his part. Yeah, you could have cut out that part, even
like
though it was kind of like it was good to see the fight and like how one man really thinks that he is going to be the one to save all of eternity, and he feels like he's not, and he struggles with that because he has this God complex, like almost, and it's like I'm not Jesus of Nazareth. Like, what is going on? Like,
I didn't even think about that. I didn't really think about the religious parallel part, but what was distracting to me was minor spoilers for Interstellar, guys. This movie is like 5 years old, so I don't really care if I spoil it or not. But just saying, this is a minor spoiler. This doesn't really spoil shit. Matt Damon as a villain is fucking weird, and I didn't like it. I was not about it. Like, he was the most apologetic villain. He kept saying like sorry the whole time.
That's so weak, right? Oh,
and there was a really funny part where they're wrestling around and they're like at a standstill for a second, and Matthew McConaughey is like has him pinned down and is like, stop right now. And then Matt Damon's character just starts headbutting him. And he's like, no. And he starts headbutting him to break his shield. And it's a really awkward scene, but I kind of loved it at the same time. I was like, because, guys, this movie is kind of weird. Going into this movie, another, like, expectation I had, I thought this was, like, a more grounded, more serious movie. It's not. It is really weird and sci-fi-ish. I did not expect that from this, so I don't know. So, but yeah, Matt Damon as a villain was a no-go for me. But yeah, you mentioned the visuals though. The visuals and the music. See, I'm a big music person as far as movies go. You know, I pay attention to the musical scores a lot and soundtracks, all that kind of stuff. And the score for this, oh my goodness, the music, the organ playing and stuff. Oh my goodness, it like almost sounds like very Phantom of the Opera-esque, but in space.
It was kind of dramatic,
but like
right?
in
like
space. Yeah, and especially during, like I said, my favorite parts of this film were the drama aspects of it. The science part, the sci-fi aspect, the black hole, the trying to find new planets, all that kind of stuff. I didn't really care for it. It was whatever. It wasn't very interesting to me. But I loved the morality, the human aspects of this film, of, you know, questioning, because there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of deception in this movie. I didn't know about that. Like, I didn't know about the drama in this movie, and I was like, oh shit, it's kind of like a like not a, I won't say a soap opera episode because that makes it sound bad, but in a really good way, because it's like, oh no, that person's lying. Oh shit, now that person's lying. And I was like, I really enjoyed the drama aspect of this movie, so I really like that more than the science part.
I really liked the black hole, and like when he was in it, and it was like at one point when what's her name, Bran, was like, felt like she was touching somebody, and she was like, okay, I think I did a mistake.
I did like the callbacks, and that was a really cool one. The hand thing, that was a really cool callback. I liked a lot of that stuff.
The frozen clouds, like that was pretty cool. I was like, and at that point I was like, if the cloud is frozen, why would you even think that this planet would be habitable?
Yes. They were like, yeah, no, the air is totally fine. It's so cold. It's so cold all the time. This is a totally habitable 67 hours of cold, and then 67 more hours of cold. Like, what?
Like, why would you need data?
See, and that's where my problems lie in this movie, is the sciencey stuff. There's just way too many questions. There's too many things just don't make sense, but that's okay, because it's an enjoyable movie for like a 3-hour movie. You know, we talk about expectations. I was going in like kind of not excited, because I was like, man, this is a long ass movie. I like long movies if it's a movie that I'm like into. But the fact that I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, and this is a long-ass movie, I was like, shit. But no, it actually goes by really quick. The pacing, and it's really good for how long it is, I'd say. But you mentioned they forgot about the son, and I wanted more of that. I wanted the family stuff. Like, give me more of that.
Yeah, it was all about him and the daughter, and it was like, what about your son? Like, it's all. I love Murph. Where's Murph? She's gonna come through because I gave her that watch, and it's like, but what about your son? Like,
The son was like, deuces. I blame
yeah, I know, right?
I blamed the wife. I blame Lewis because she was just like, no, let's go. Fuck all this. Let's go. And then he was like, yeah, fuck my dad. Let's go. And so I thought that was a little underdeveloped, but it's all about the father daughter. And so one last spoiler for Interstellar again. This film, the scene where he sees his daughter, they finally meet again when she's all old and shit. And that scene got me. Like, it got me. I was all about it. He walked out of that room. They should have ended the movie, but then they tacked on another scene. And with the find, I did not like that last scene. They should have ended it. He walks out of her hospital room, fade to black. That's the end of your movie. Play the music. That's the end. That, for me personally. But what did you like about that end scene?
I didn't like the fact that he left. It was like, you've done all of this stuff for her and for, everybody on Earth. Like, you've been gone for 100 years or whatever. And she's all like, no parent should see their child die. Go. And you're just like, one tear, bye. And I'm like, what? Like, all this time you've been doing all this stuff for her and you just up and leave? I was like, what? Like, I didn't like that. Did not like that at all.
The only thing, yeah.
At that point, I was like, she was like, go to Brand. I was like, fuck Brand.
See, exactly. That's why I was like, on one hand, I will kind of agree with the movie because it's like, okay, she's dying and this is his purpose. He needs to continue on to save the world some more because he finally got what he wanted. He got to see her. They got to reconnect one last time. That's all he wanted. She's about to die. And then, who knows what he's going to do now. But at the same time, yeah, I didn't like the Brand thing. Like, have him walk off into the distance on the spaceship again. He's going with his robot friends, which, by the way, the robots are the TARS machines. They're super weird, but I like them. Like, I like the characters, like their sense of humor and whatnot. But the robot itself was like, it looked really weird, but I liked it.
It was a good.
Yeah. Overall. So what I originally wanted to tie this into is because, we were talking about expectations and relationships and stuff earlier. So for me, a thing with expectations is in movies, you go into a movie hearing one thing, you hear all, everybody has their opinions online. You hear, I love this movie, I hate this movie, blah, 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 blah. And you get your expectations either up or you get them down. And then sometimes you get them up and then your expectations are let down and you're disappointed by the film. Or I would say in my case today, I was expecting to not enjoy this film and I actually really did. It's an enjoyable film. And I think maybe if I go back and rewatch it and see some of the holes, because I'm definitely missing some shit. Like, I'm missing a shit ton of stuff from that movie. So it's a movie I'm definitely gonna have to like rewatch again. Maybe not so stoned and maybe take some notes. I don't know. We'll see what happens because I know I'm missing a few things, but no, I actually, like I said, I went in thinking it was gonna be boring. And I also just didn't really know a whole lot about the film, and I ended up enjoying it. Just to touch on what my movie pick is another film that includes some time travel. It has some, and in the way they use it, I don't know if it would be more supernatural, if it would be more sci-fi. I don't know, but it's time travel. About time. This guy, he can time travel, and he uses it to fall in love, and he tries to plan the perfect life, the perfect relationship. And I watched it for the first time like a couple months ago with a friend, and I went in, I was kind of like, okay, I like the people in this film, but I don't know how it's going to be. And the movie's not even about time travel at all. I mean, it is. Like, time travel's a big deal, but it's about the relationship aspect of it and it's about the the choices that he makes and whether he's making the right choices, whether they're selfish or not, trying to plan out this perfect relationship, even though in the end he learns that there is no perfect relationship. Everything has flaws and stuff. And so you guys talk about relationships a lot on your show. So what are your thoughts about time?
Well, this movie, the thing that I did like is that everything sort of comes at an opportunity cost. He tries to make his life to be like the best life ever. He goes back and he changes things. So I mean, the time travel aspect of the movie is kind of like just a side part of it, but he's ultimately trying to have the best life that he can. And one of the parts that I really liked in this movie was when he would go back and relive each day, and he would see it through sort of like a different set of eyes and realize that things weren't that bad after all as how he perceived it to be the first time. And like he sort of really enjoyed himself. And I think that that's sort of like the main theme of the movie is like, live every day to your fullest. And you're gonna make some mistakes, and some people aren't gonna like you. So I think the very first girl that he tried to make like him. Yeah, like he was like, on the last day that she was there, like, I want to get to know you, or let's go hang out or whatever. And she was like, you should have asked, like, way beforehand.
And then they relived the summer again, and it's like, oh my God, was it worth it? I mean, right. I will say yes, it's worth it because it was for Margot Robbie, and I would say I would definitely relive a summer if I had a chance at getting with Margot Robbie. But in the movie context, though, yes, it was like, what? Like, yeah. And he never learned from that. And his dad, I really like the relationship between him and his dad. And his dad keeps trying to tell him, like, you're doing too much. Like, his dad only used it to, like, revisit memories that he really loved. Like, and to read. Like, he always judged his dad. He's like, why do you use this time travel for, like, such stupid reasons? And he's just like, it's the simple life. And that's what I really liked about time. It took time travel and it made it very simple. Lots of time travel movies get a little bit crazy. Interstellar did time travel decently. I think it didn't go too overboard. But it's like in About Time, though, it was very simple. They were just like, yeah, time travel to do this. And like action has a consequence. Like one time he did something, went back in time, and his fucking baby went from being a girl to, or was it a girl to a boy to a girl? I can't remember.
A girl to a boy.
Yeah, like he changed the gender of his baby by changing something, and he was just like, and he was almost going to stay there. He was like, do I stay here? And he's like, no, I got to go back. I got to change my baby back. And I thought that was utterly, I thought that was ridiculous. But it was so great though. I thought it was really funny because About Time's really funny as well. It's like, I mean, yes, it's a movie about time travel, but it's not like very heavy on it. And it doesn't really try to explain it either. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And I like rom-coms. I'm a sap. But but I think with both these movies, like I said, you can take the weirdness out of them aside, and you can really focus on the relationships in the film as far as Interstellar goes, with the mother-daughter relationship, with everything that's going on with the sister and the brother and like all that kind of stuff. And then in About Time, you have the father-son relationship and then his marriage, and it's you can set the weirdness aside because it's still a drama in a way.
Well, I mean, as far as expectation goes, how we relate that back to it, it's sort of like the bumbling idiot sort of expecting to get the extra hot girl. And it's like, where do you come off with this? And then at one point, it's like he realizes he needs to go down a notch. It's like, that's not your level, son. And like, he tries to change everything so he can get that perfect girl, but that's not the one that's for him, And it kind of, but I think in all those kind of like English movies like that, it's always this weird dorky guy trying to go out with this extremely beautiful girl, and it's like, oh, she's gonna like me because I'm an idiot. It's like, no, I don't fucking like you.
Wait,
Like,
so is this in pertaining to Margot Robbie's character or Rachel McAdams'
yeah.
character?
I think, well, Rachel McAdams' character is like kind of like on his level, especially because she's rather insecure in the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like with her bangs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking if she's even pretty enough because she's like obsessed with Kate Moss or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that she is pretty much on his level, and they make a good match, and he realizes that, you know.
So but you did not buy into the Margot Robbie. You were like,
No.
no way. And there was a funny thing. So spoilers for About Time, another old movie. So shut the fuck up. I'm gonna spoil it anyways. There's a scene where, you know, he sees her while he's dating Rachel McAdams. They're in love. And you see Margot Robbie's character out when he's out with his dweeby friend, who is like even more dweeby than he is somehow.
Oh my god.
But they're out and they see Margot Robbie's character and she's like all trying to get him to come home with her and stuff. And then the whole time you're sitting there thinking like, oh my God, he's going to do it. He's going to make the mistake because this is a rom-com and you always wait for the main character to make a mistake and then he has to get the girl back. But he doesn't. He does not sleep with Margot Robbie. He even time travels to try to like fix it and he was going to sleep with her and then he still was like, nah, I'm not going to do it. And I was like, okay, kudos to you, movie, on not being a super typical rom-com.
Right. Yeah, that was a good part in the movie that he actually kind of like turned her down. But then did he feel bad and then go ask Rachel to marry him afterwards? Like,
Well, was it because him turning Margot Robbie's character down was like the moment, like when people are like, that's the moment I knew I wanted to marry you? Like, was that his moment, or was it, no, I need to just marry this girl because
I can see it more as a moment, like a defining moment.
Yeah, I bought into their relationship.
Yeah, and she was too damn sweet. Like, really?
Yeah.
Stop.
And then like, because, you know, like you said, he wanted everything perfect, and it's like mistakes would happen and he would try to fix everything and it won't work out, and then he would go back in time, realize it doesn't fix it, and then he's like, oh yeah, I should just enjoy this moment. And that's pretty much the entire movie.
Yeah, I think that when he realized he couldn't fix his sister is when he started to be like, okay, let me try.
Oh yeah, totally forgot about that part. Shit gets real deep in this movie for about 25 minutes. It took a real sharp left turn whenever I was watching. I was like, oh shit, I was not expecting this. I expected this to be a real funny rom-com, and this got real dark real fast. I was not expecting it. But yeah, I will agree there. It was the shit with his sister and whatnot. But yeah, overall a really good film, and I think they kind of relate to each other. I think I made that one work. I don't know. This was the most loosely connected of any two movies that I've tried to like match up. I was like, I think this works, and even if it doesn't, whatever.
I mean, there's time travel. There is different family dynamics. I mean, you have with Rachel McAdams with her parents, like she's completely awkward, and then the other guy, I don't know his name.
The redhead, his name is Donald Gleason.
Yeah,
he's a good actor.
His family has like a little bit more of a close knit relationship where they're like super comfortable
and they're real quirky. They're real quirky white family.
Yeah, so you have that different dynamic between those two families, and then like with Interstellar, you have the father-daughter with Murph and Cooper, and then with Brand and Dr. Brand, you have those two different dynamics.
Yeah.
Right there, because
that's true. So there we go.
She had no idea that her dad lied about stuff. So
there we go. And we were talking about another way to connect these. We were talking about expectations because we're talking about Danielle's podcast, and that's going to round out our story time. So we're going to talk we're gonna shift out of the movies because, but we're still talking expectations. So I told you before we started recording to think of some sort of story that either a time that something exceeded your expectations or something that did not meet it. So, did you come up with something?
I did. So, like, I'll say that one thing that sort of exceeded my expectations. I met this guy, and I really did not think that he was gonna be. I thought he was just gonna be like kind of weird or whatever. And like we had extremely weird conversations. But then I'm a little bit weird too. Like I ask people just extremely strange conversations. I mean, strange questions just to see what their sense of humor is like. Like I'll ask a guy like, if I bought you some Batman underwear, would you wear them and dance for me? Like,
wait, who's wearing? If you bought him the Batman underwear and he's dancing in it, or you're dancing in the Batman underwear?
Like,
oh, okay. Sorry, I'm pouring more wine. I am listening, but
I mean, I questions like that. That lets me know what your sense of humor is like. Like if you're game for it, if you're kind of like down for whatever, like that's kind of how I gauge you as a person a little bit with that question.
Yeah, because like in any kind of relationship, I mean, friendship too, but I mean in a relationship as well. But like you're looking for acceptance. Like you're looking for somebody that accepts you for the real weird, the weird shit, the good shit, the bad shit. It's all about the acceptance. So it's all about, yeah, would you dance in this Batman underwear for me? I think that's pretty much. I think that answers the question.
So, to say the least, he did dance for me.
Oh shit! And what was the result?
He exceeded my expectations.
There you go. You give a movie a chance, you give somebody a chance, your expectations may be surpassed. You never know. Let me think for a sec on a good question, because I have not been thinking of a story for this one. Huh. I mean, if we're talking, what's up?
You have plenty of.
I don't know, because I'm real weird. I've only had like so many relationships, but I will say my most previous one, I guess we'll go with in the realm of exceeding expectations. So like, and this will kind of loop back into the game from the beginning and talk about like our list, our type. Something I point out to people when I talk about my last relationship is like, she's like not my type. Like, don't get me wrong, she's fucking gorgeous and everything, but like she was not my like typical type. Like for people that know me, like my main type is like I like, well, I mean, aside from her being a white girl, that's about the only thing that meets the criteria. Like, but like I like tall girls. Or I like tall girls. I like pale girls. I like real white girls. Like dark hair. I'm not about the blondes really. I don't really like real tan girls, but I have dated like other ethnicities, I guess, but whatever. But she was total fit junkie. She was super tan, like sandy blonde hair, like literally. I like short hair. She had super long hair. Like she was a morning person. I stayed up all night. Like nothing made sense, like whatsoever. But it kind of worked. But I'm also known for like, of any of my relationships or like even like just girls I've dated long term, none of them have ever been like my actual type, which is weird. I've never actually dated a girl of like my type. I'm doing like air quotes right now. It's a weird thing. Sorry, I always say the air quotes out loud because people are not watching this. But yeah, so I guess that will wrap up our talk on expectations on pretty much on everything. I think we tied everything together really well. Danielle, thank you so much for coming on the show. We had so much fun conversation. I will say you are the person that has actually like taken the, like whenever I tell people, hey, this is an uncensored show. Let's Like, literally, you could say, like, because this is by far going to be one of the weirdest episodes we've had so far, but it is so much fun. It is just like your guys' podcast. You guys are super crazy. Danielle, where can we find you and your podcast?
You can find us on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play, and a host of other apps like Audio Boom, Overcast, stuff like that.
Awesome. And what's your guys' Twitter again?
Our Twitter is Girl Talking Wine, and if you're feeling froggy, you can join our Facebook group. It gets a little wild in there. I just want to let y'all know that.
Oh, snap. Like, is this NSFW, not safe for work, Facebook group?
Pretty much so. I mean, it's closed, so you can find it. Girls the podcast, but just know that it is not safe for work.
Well, there you go, guys. I mean, if you're an audience, if you listen to my show, I mean, obviously, I don't think anybody that listens to my show has a problem with not safe for work. But no, guys, check out their podcast, Between Us Girls. It's super funny. You guys love drinking wine like me. We've both been drinking wine this entire time. It was pretty fantastic. But yeah, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, guys, at Jesus12, Instagram and Facebook at Jesus12 as well. Make sure you check out the Patreon, patreon.com/JesusTakeTheReal, and that'll do it. Peace out, motherfuckers. Let me just pause this shit real quick. Thank you guys once again for listening to Jesus Take the Real. New episodes every Tuesday. If you like what you're listening to, make sure you're following along on Twitter at JesusTTReal. Retweet and share with all your homies. iTunes reviews, 5-star reviews, get you a shout out on the show. And make sure you stay tuned after the music for a little pre-show banter. Thank you very much. Now back to the dope music.